Alright, hello everyone, welcome to episode 24 of my Blackburn Rovers Football Manager 2017 save. Okay then, so for everyone who watched the last video, you'll probably be aware of the fact that, I was kind of pissed off. We lost 3-0 away at Man United, and to be fair, I wouldn't have minded losing against Man United. I think what frustrated me the most is how poor our performance was, and Gouffran getting injured, Sonogo getting injured, and Kadura getting sent off. So we're now going to be up against Arsenal in the FA Cup 6th round. Southampton beat Burton Albion 3-1. Man United have West Ham. We've got Arsenal, and Watford have Millwall. And the truth is, with Andre Gray still out for a good 4 to 5 weeks, I honestly think our chances of fighting for a Europa League spot are basically gone. I think the best we can hope for now is a mid-table finish. So a part of me kind of hopes that Arsenal might rest a few players to keep them fit for the league, because they're still on to make it 2 titles in a row potentially. They are the defending champions. I'm kind of hoping that they rest some players, we beat them, and we can maybe go on a nice FA Cup run. If Millwall can pull off an upset, we can get them, I don't know. But the thing is, we can't keep hoping for easy draws, right? If you deserve to win the cup, you've got to beat everyone that comes your way. We've played Arsenal 2 times in the Premier League so far this season. First time around we drew 0-0, and second time around we lost 2-0. And it's understandable why we lost 2-0. You can see the goals came from Cavani and Icardi. Unlike real life, in Football Manager, it always seems like Arsene Wenger suddenly remembers where his wallet is, and Arsenal start spending money, and that's why they're competing so well at the top of the Premier League. But anyways, like I said, all we can really do at the moment is kind of hope that he is going to field a weakened side against us, because the truth is, we're fielding a weakened side of our own anyways, mainly because key players like Andre Gray, Lenny Ham suspended because of a yellow card he got in the last match, and Gouffran are out, which means that, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting lineup from us. Corey Evans is a player who asked for a chance in the first team, so you know what, I'm going to give it to him. And instead of Letalic, I'm actually going to put Hope Akpan at the defensive mid and give him a go. Elliot Bennett will move to the bench, and I just realised, actually, I don't normally show the pre-match team selection during my videos, but whatever, we'll change things around for this video. We'll go for it this video. So that's going to be my team. I guess it has to be my team, really. We've got to try and field the strongest team as we can. Our team is overachieving regardless in the Premier League, so yeah, good luck to us, I guess. And since we kind of did things a little bit differently for some strange reason at the start of this video, I'm going to carry on doing things a little bit differently. So here we go. We can see Arsenal's starting lineup. I'm kind of happy not to see Ozil in the side. Luan, I think he's Brazilian, yep, is coming to the side instead. But the truth is, he still is a very, very good player. Alex Iwobi, interestingly enough, is actually out on the right. And to be fair, I'd rather be up against Iwobi than Icardi or Cavani, you know what I mean? Szczesny in goal, Gabriel Paulista at centre-back. Could have maybe been Mertesacker or, I don't know, someone else. But they've still got quite a strong bench in Mertesacker, Wilshere, Ramsey and Icardi. An interesting choice is actually this lad, Thomas Buitink, up front. Trequarista signed from Vitesse for 1.6 million. Doesn't really look that amazing. But I've got a fly on my head. But obviously Arsene Wenger, there's a fly flying around my room, and it's really annoying. I don't know if it shows up in front of the green screen if it flies past. But yeah, we got to kind of hope that he doesn't find the back of the net. Opposition instruction wise, I've never really shown you guys doing one of these live, so here we go. I kind of tell my assistant manager who's going to get sacked at the end of the season, by the way. I'm going to replace him with someone better to apply his own advice, and then I start to tweak things. He wants me to tightly mark Alexis Sanchez. I don't think that's a good idea because he's a very fast player. So instead, we're going to try and go in hard on him, make sure we always close him down, simultaneously going hard on basically all this front three. I'm not really too bothered about the front individual striker. Try and show Iwobi onto his weaker foot, and bar that, really, we're going to leave it at that. Nothing else really jumps out at me. And at the same time, you don't want to overcomplicate opposition instructions, and it is something you can tweak as you go on. So nobody fancies us to win. I'm just going to tell them we owe this team revenge. Whenever that one pops up, it always, fires up the players. So here we go. FA Cup 6th round. We're missing Andre Gray. We're missing a lot of key players, but we've got to keep the faith in the system. I actually didn't even tweak my team instructions, but, well, I mean, do I want to change things? I'm tempted, given the defensive line, but because I'm going to keep things kind of vanilla. I'm not going to overcomplicate things, simply because even though Sanchez and some of the other players like Luan have quite a lot of pace, I'm kind of thinking, well, they're still only playing really as midfielders. And, go on, Graham. Oh, unlucky. They're only really playing as midfielders. And that front man in Buick, or whatever the hell he's called, doesn't actually have that much pace on him. But here we go. We're playing out the back, which is something Arsenal, I think it's safe to say, are used to. Steele lobs the ball forward. McLean wins the header, but unfortunately doesn't get picked up by Danny Graham. And it's kind of a silly way to lose the ball. Mustafi plays the ball out wide to Callum Chambers, who plays it central to Xhaka, and this is some nice possession from Arsenal, and Boateng's going to score. Well, that's why they signed him. He doesn't look that good, but that's why they signed him. Steele should be saving shots like that. Really, Premier League standard, I don't care. That shot weren't even that good. It looked like a bit of a standard save, and we go 1-0 down. Will I take a draw? Yes, because then we obviously take the game to Ewood Park. But no Andre Gray, and we're looking completely useless against these Premier League sides. Iwobi crosses the ball, and now we need to try and counter-attack. Instead, Steele is going to wait for half an hour and let Arsenal get back into position, of course. Chances are now he's going to hoof the ball forward to Danny Graham, and he's not going to win the header unless Sanogo can get onto this. He's going to carry on closing Mustafi down. Ball goes back to Szczesny, and Arsenal again start playing out the back. See, the reason why I think that Andre Gray offers... Oh, for God's sake, we're going to go 2-0 down. We've gone 2-0 down. 2-0 down, that's our FA Cup over and done with. And the reason why I think we are missing Andre Gray that much is because when he plays that deep lying forward role, because of his attributes, he does so well to come deep and almost act as a fifth midfielder and help on midfield out. I think I've got to take some of the blame. I don't think I've adapted well after Andre Gray has left. Or become injured. I think I've kind of had it easy with his goal-scoring form. And if we go in at half-time 3-0 down, which we will, that's going to be it. You've got to feel sorry for the away fans who've travelled all the way to London to witness this. Are we gonna get an Istanbul comeback in the second half? I don't know. But it's just far too easy. Far too easy. We've gone from being this really solid side. And the thing is, yeah, we miss Andre Gray. But one thing we used to take pride in is being solid defensively, for God's sake. I'm going to bring on Elliot Bennett as an attacking midfielder. We're going to try not to use the offside trap, try not to retain possession, and play with a mixed style of play. Get more stuck in, be more expressive, and close down more. I want to try and close down more because, we've got to try and win that ball back. and basically look like we want it more, but we're up against a far superior team. We're 3-0 down, and now McLean's injured. James McLean's injured. Augustinson's going to move on to the left. Wallace is going to come on left back. To be fair, it looks like our entire team was bloody left back in the changing rooms, both against Man United and against Arsenal here. Can we grab a goal back? Come on, give us a lifeline. We can't even beat the first man from a corner. And look at this counter-attack from Arsenal. Really good play. Ramsey's there. Ramsey makes it 4. This is where I earn my money, really. I've got to be able to prevent, you know, what happened against United and what's happening now. Need to find a system that will make us defensively more solid, but at the same time, we've not even scored any goals. We might grab one now. Nah, terrible header. We might. I feel like this is a realistic scoreline. I feel like the scoreline against Man United was realistic as well. I think there's only so much you can do when it comes to the system, when your team's just not good enough. The truth is, so many of the players in our starting lineup, whether it's our goalkeeper or the midfielders we've got on right now, or even Danny Graham up front on his own, they're not Premier League standard. We've been punching above our weight all season, and the only thing we've really had going for us is the fact that Andre Gray is on fire, a player we only signed for 1.4 million. Is he going to get sent off now? That was not a red card. We had the same thing against Man United where it looked like Kadura did nothing wrong. No, it's only yellow. But yeah, we've been really fortunate that Andre Gray has been as good as he has. This was what I was worried about. They gave me no money in January. It was always going to be, I felt it was going to be difficult for us to stay in the league. They gave me no money in January. Injuries are now cropping up. We're out of the FA Cup. And morale is probably abysmal right now. What does morale look like? It's actually better than I thought. Up next, we've got Spurs at Ewood Park at home. Our form ain't been too bad at home. Let's see what we can do. Hello. Welcome back. My name is Knight, and I am the Blackburn Rovers manager. And right now in the northwest of England, in a little town called Blackburn, in Lancashire, a crisis is happening. To donate to help this crisis, you can call 0800 123 4567 or text Venky's out to 1337. On a serious note though, we are doomed. Andre Gray's injured. Mr. James McLean has decided to be injured. The worst part is this guy got injured in the last game, right? But he was fine after the game. So what happens? He sprains his ankle in training, so he's now out for 4 to 5 weeks. And someone else got injured as well. If I can figure out who that... Yes, it was Dara Lenihan who hurt his foot and is now out for a day, which means he can't play against Tottenham. So he was suspended in the last match, and yeah, Lenihan can't play against Tottenham. So, Venky's, this is what happens when you don't give me money in January and we can't strengthen. So we're out of the FA Cup. If we lose against Tottenham, it's looking very likely that that's our European chase over in the league. I feel like this is a must-win game. I feel like we have to win, even though we've got a game in hand as opposed to like West Ham and Tottenham. I feel like we have to win this game somehow, miraculously, if we are to stay in the running. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Ewood Park. A massive game for us, I reckon, as far as the Europa League spot chase is concerned. Now, it's been pretty obvious, right, the 4-4-2 without Andre Gray being able to drop back into midfield and help the midfield out has been somewhat useless. Let me change this actually. So I'm going to change these to wingers, and I'll explain this in a second. It's always useful when I notice things are wrong, and the only reason I notice them is because I'm actually recording, so I end up going back to it to talk to you guys. But yeah, we're going to change things into a bit of a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-4-1, where these guys, of course, will push forwards. We just get that extra man in midfield. Gouffran is a bit of a surprise inclusion, but he's not going to be down the wing, so hopefully he won't do as much running. He's on 84%. He might have to come off at half-time, hopefully, if we haven't conceded. Most of Spurs' conceded goals have actually come from crosses. That's why I changed them from wide playmakers to wingers, and because we now have a third person in midfield, we don't really need him to cut inside that much. Even though Spurs have been pretty decent so far this season, they're actually 18th as far as away form is concerned, which is why this is such an important game for us to manage to get 3 points from. Going to be difficult because we don't really have any goal-scoring power at the moment, I don't think. Danny Graham doesn't seem to cut it in the Premier League as a lone striker. Team instruction-wise, opposition instruction-wise, it's pretty much standard. Obviously, a lot of playmakers here for Spurs. They've got David Silva over on the left as well. So much creativity in this side. We've got to try and stop. Team instruction-wise, we've dropped our defensive line to try and deal with their pace up front. We've gone with a mixed passing directness. And, yeah, I believe everything else has been left the exact same. And you know what? I don't actually want to leave everything the exact same. I want to hit early crosses simply because I know that Spurs have been struggling with crosses, and yeah, we will then leave things like that, and I'll actually go for mixed crosses because Danny Graham does have a bit of physicality in him as well. And of course, changing the passing directness to mixed was bearing in mind the crossing thingamabobs, but the truth is not much is really working for us at the moment. So we've stepped in and we've tried to change things around, and hopefully that extra man in midfield, you know, really helps us try and grab a hold of the ball. But Spurs early on, 4 minutes in, Eriksen picks the ball up, David Silva shoots. Past 2 episodes have been dreadful. We've not had to deal with an injury crisis this bad all season. Going for that extra man in midfield, it does of course affect tactical familiarity, but as you can see, there is space for us to exploit when these Spurs fullbacks venture forward. I'm going to give it a few more minutes and possibly look to change it. That's a really good... Oh, for God's sake, as if nothing came from that. These past 2 episodes are going to put me in a complete mental breakdown. Okay. Let's change things up. So, what's the logic now? Move these guys forward a little bit more so they can try and exploit the space on the wings. Evans is going to move to become a defensive midfielder. In fact, I'm going to... make Jason Lowe a ball-winning midfielder. Corey Evans, yeah, defensive midfielder. And we'll actually make Gouffran a roaming playmaker, see if he can utilise his creativity. I'm going to bite the bullet and go in with an attacking mindset. And hit early crosses off as well. And see if we can start actually getting more crosses into the box. But... before that happens, Spurs are going to play Harry Kane in, who's going to score. Yeah. I mean, it looked like Evans should have been picking him up. I mean, he had a moan saying that he wanted to play, but you can see why he's not playing. And to be fair, even though after this change, it has brought us more back into the game, that Harry Kane goal has completely put us out of sight. Here's the plan. We're going to go back to the original approach. Gouffran is going to come off. Letalic is going to go on for Corey Evans. And Yaya Sanogo is going to come on as a target man. Yaya Sanogo is in fact going to be a wide target man. And Craig Conway is going to be a playmaker for us. And we're going to hope we can get the ball to him as much as possible. Hope Akpan will come on for Jason Lowe's on a yellow card as well, because we cannot at all costs afford to have a man sent off now. And I'll turn Danny Graham into an advanced forward. We're going to go more direct. Of course, we've got to change some of these settings again now. And stick with that. We'll actually tell Steele to hoof the ball towards Yaya Sanogo. And go from there. And all we can really do at the moment is kind of pull at strings. It's really disappointing how these past 2 episodes have gone, to be honest. That pretty much sums it up. Throwing the ball straight to the other team. Augustinson gets the ball back. Conway plays the ball to Akpan. This is a lot better, but he loses it again. He gets tackled by Dele Alli. We're a one-man team. We're either a one-man team with Jordan Rhodes or a one-man team with Andre Gray. Letalic finds Bennett, who gives the ball to Graham. Fabio's got to get on the end of that. He's going to whip the ball in, and we're going to score. Good. That's more like it. A goal from a cross. Can't say I'm surprised. You know, I blame myself against Man United for not going for the winger approach, not realising that most of their better defensive players were actually through the middle of the park, so we're using wide playmakers. So it wasn't surprised we were getting tackled so much. And I've got myself to blame as well for turning off the look for overlap, because for some reason I was just like, well, we're playing with wingers now, so we'll get them to play balls into the box to the lone Graham. But then I forgot like the fundamentals. Oh, for God's sake, I forgot the fundamentals really of, well, you need people to cross too, right? You need people to cross too. That's why we go with the wide playmakers, so that they're in the box, and the crossing can be the responsibility of the fullbacks. But we're back in this game now. We don't have enough squad depth to maybe sub someone on and try and make a difference. There's still a goal in Spurs, but Sanogo now can play the hoof ball towards Danny Graham, and he does. That ball is going to stay in the pitch as Danny Graham runs down the right wing. He gets tackled by Dembele, but this attack is still on. Hoof ball from Mulgrew. Conway should have scored there. Conway should have scored. First clear-cut chance of the game, and Conway has not bloody scored that. How has he not scored that? Really good ball from Charlie Mulgrew, actually. We've actually used all our 3 subs. Dearie me. We're going to have to overload and push as many people forward as we can now at this point. Spurs, surprisingly, still pushing so many people forward. You can see the very high line. Room to exploit. And if we can win the ball back, if we can just win the ball back, we might be able to launch a counter-attack. The hoof balls are coming towards Sanogo, but he's not winning them in the air. He's up against 2 quality centre-backs, and we've just not got the midfield to keep the likes of Dembele, Silva and Eriksen quiet. Really good tackle from Fabio, but an even better goal from a great player in Harry Kane. Don't really think it's Fabio's fault, but I'm kind of concerned with how many goals Steele has conceded recently. His positioning was dreadful there, and that's basically it. We've lost the game again. Realistically speaking, it's not a surprise when you look at our squad, but that's offside. No, he's not offside. He's not scored. We could be 3-3 if Conway scored and Graham had scored there. I think deep down over the past 2 episodes, the reason why I'm as disappointed as I am is because I could see this coming, you know. I did say, and you guys can vouch for that, I did say that we are going to need to spend a bit of money in January to keep this up because injuries were going to crawl in. I said it a million times, and they didn't give me any money. We kind of hoped for the best. And, yeah, we're being made to pay the price. And it's even worse when you end up with players getting injured in training because it's out of your control, really. You can't do anything about it. It's that time of the season, a lot of fixture congestion going on. And even though our training intensity isn't that significant, we just don't have the squad depth to deal with injuries. So no go now. We'll find Bennett, and Fabio could very well grab himself another assist there. It's another goal from a cross. You know, if only I didn't make the changes in the first half. I'm more than happy to sit and put the blame on transfers and stuff, but I made mistakes as well. I just feel like if you'd actually been given money in January, my mistakes would have been a little bit less significant. No, poor pass. Sanogo, I'm sorry, mate, but the Premier League just isn't your level. For someone who's a football manager legend, he's definitely been toned down, and I'm kind of surprised I got 20 goals with him in the Championship anyways. But what was I saying? Yeah, we conceded 3 against Man United. Come on, this is it. This is it. Is it? Yes. Yes. No. How have we cut that up? We conceded 3 against Man United. We then conceded 4 against Arsenal. And we've now conceded 3 against Spurs. This run of form is scary at the moment. And I'm worried. Well, I'm not really worried because we can't get relegated, but I feel like all our hard work so far this season could very easily get undone. We're conceding far too many goals at the moment. I know it's United, Arsenal and Spurs, but I think the only positive out that game was Danny Graham scored 2. Right, okay, we can't sit and dwell on the past. We're currently 9th now in the Premier League. Again, I think this spot is now out of contention and we're out of the FA Cup, but we've just got to keep the faith. That's all I can say at the moment. We're on 45 points, and we've just got to try and pick up as many points as possible. And the most important points really are going to be against the teams like Watford and Liverpool, who them too are contesting for these few spots. We've just also got to hope that teams like West Ham and Southampton slip up. And if West Ham end up getting that spot over us, they probably deserve it because they beat us twice. But sorry if the past 2 episodes have been a little bit demotivating, but it's kind of expected. What do you guys think needs to be done differently? I'm kind of happy that we scored 2 against Tottenham that game, but what can you do? What's the next episode going to be? Well, to be honest, I think that's going to depend on how Leicester and Watford go. If the 2 games go really well, and it looks like we're still in contention for 4th and 5th, or maybe even 3rd. Don't think 3rd, but yeah, if we're still in contention, you might get the Liverpool and Everton games. If not, you might get the Swansea and Man City game where we round off the season. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you've just come across this video and it seems a bit like down, I'm not normally like this, but this is really the first time in this save where we experience some serious problems like this. But yeah, if you've not seen the previous episodes, then why are you watching this episode? It makes no sense. Go watch the previous episodes of my channel. And as always, thanks for watching.